Almost everywhere I go, I see people who are searching for answers. People who are searching for that higher part of themselves. People who are searching for happiness. But again, many of these people are very cautious never to let anybody get too close to them. They want companionship, but they are scared to ever expose the inner parts of themselves. What they are often looking for in companionship is solace from another, or a relationship with another which is usually based on dependence and control. I see many people with very strong emotional ties to each other. I see a lot of energy play being conducted with people. I see very, very few people who are actually connected to Source and are receiving their energy from Source and are simply serving the creation. And this seems to be a quite ubiquitous thing. This really does seem to be everywhere. I'm seeing all sorts of weird relationship play going on with people. Very, very strange energy connections with people. But something I've noticed with the amount of orgonite that I've got in the area here now is that things seem to be revealing themselves with people as well. And these revelations are in themselves wonderful opportunities for people to find out things about themselves and to realize the energy play that's going on and to reconnect themselves with Source. And this energy play seems to be global, folks. There's people that I know that are quite intelligent people that are having trouble writing. Sometimes their speech will get a little slurred. There's been some reporters that have been seen on TV recently that have been speaking virtual gibberish. Apparently it happened to Judge Judy a few weeks ago as well. So it seems to be a global thing. There's definitely some sort of very strange energy shift going on at the moment. And being aware of these types of things is half the battle, folks. If you're having thoughts that you don't feel are your own, or you find yourself involved in some energy play with someone else, being aware of it is 80% of the battle. Because once you're aware that all this energy stuff is going on and that it's something in the field because it's literally happening globally, then that really shores up your defenses against this sort of activity and this sort of energy play. You can start reconnecting yourself. Start coming back to Source and serving the creation and changing reality around you from your own center. Again, being the change that we need to bring into the world. But in order to do this, in order to come back to center and to reconnect with Source, as I said, you need to be aware that this situation is occurring. Be aware of the energy field around you. We are indeed in very dramatic times, folks. Very interesting times, but very dramatic times. It's very difficult to see which way the cards are going to fall at this stage, but we are most certainly facing a crisis on this planet, a crisis both environmental and emotional, psychological. And it's extremely important that the human race maintain their energy through this period, because once the human race reaches an energy of compassion and understanding and empathy for each other and for the earth, we can change things. We can literally change everything. But we have to connect. We have to connect with each other. Even when you stand up against frackers coming to your property, you can't hate these people. You can't be violent towards these people. You simply have to try to help them understand that you're not letting them on your property because you respect the earth, and that you respect them and you respect their children. When addressing the bankers and the money cartels, when addressing corrupt world leaders, when addressing all the problems that we face, folks, it's really important that none of it is done from a center of hatred. Humanity has lost its way, and the fault of this is both the system that keeps us lost and our own acquiescence to this system, our failure to see reality for what it is, our failure to connect with each other. You see, ultimately, all of the problems that we face in the world come from us ourselves. All of the problems come from our failure to adjust our emotional state, to adjust our energetic state. As soon as we stop basing our lives on personal acquisition, on ownership, on the worship of stuff that we can never take with us, as soon as we get ourselves out of this mindset and realize that what we actually are the custodians of this planet, the custodians of freedom and life on this planet for future generations. It's always been up to us, folks. Everything that has happened, everything we have ever faced, it's always been up to us. And yet we have always looked towards others for them to fix the problems that we face. But by doing so, what we have failed to see is that the others that we look for are us. It's all us. There is only us. There is no others. There is just us. All the politicians, all the workers, the soldiers, the leaders, every corrupt criminal on the planet, and every good person on the planet, every saviour of the planet that lives on the planet, it's all us. It's always been us, folks. We are the source of every problem we have ever faced, and therefore we are also the source of every solution we could ever need. The key is for us to connect with each other and realize that it's all about us. It really would be very simple to fix the world, folks, if people would just open their eyes. Turn off your television set. Go and connect with your neighbours. Go and walk around the yard barefoot. Feel the earth beneath your feet. Go and plant a garden somewhere. Help a child. Help an old person. Help your neighbour. Help anybody, but help somebody. Because when you do this, you help yourself. You help the creation. You help reality itself to heal. We're facing dire times on this planet, folks, with what we ourselves have allowed to occur on this planet, with all of the monstrous environmental damage that is being carried out around us. Fukushima, Gulf of Mexico, fracking, and all the rest of the stuff way too numerous to name. It's all us that's done it all, regardless of who or what is actually in charge of the place. Because what's necessary is for people to really look at how the machine works and to realize what powers the machine. And again, it's us, folks, and our belief that the machine is real. Our belief that we need to spend our lives in a constant state of acquisition. Our belief that we need to destroy the planet around us in order to support this so-called advanced lifestyle that we're living in, which is not advanced at all. It's simply people living in temporary accommodation in a throwaway, debt-based society who are strip mining the earth in order to do it. And if people would simply step back and look at the world for what it really is, then, well, that should be a little bit of a sign for people, folks. Well, folks, we're getting very close to the end of the show here. Suffice to say that there is certainly going to be some interesting times ahead. We are facing a very unique situation at the moment, simply taking everything that's occurring on the world into account, putting them all together on one stage. It certainly isn't anything like anything that we've faced before. And as I said earlier, it's very difficult to see which way the cards are going to fall. But whichever way the cards do fall, what is the most important thing through everything that we face is for people to maintain their energy, for people to simply connect with each other and to see all of these global events as an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for spiritual growth, for the growth of consciousness, for the growth of themselves, an opportunity for reconnection to Source, an opportunity to serve the creation. And even if worst comes to worst, the most important thing through even that transition is to maintain your energetic state. It's all about energy, folks. The Earth is changing, most certainly, and naturally the human race is changing right along with it. And this, of course, is always the case. It always has been the case. And whatever changes the Earth goes through, these changes will be mirrored in humanity, and vice versa. In fact, it is the changes that humanity has gone through that has placed the Earth in the state of peril that it's now in. I don't believe in man-made climate change. I don't believe in a lot of the things that we are told by the media and by our governments, but I do very much believe that man is very, very responsible for the condition of the planet that we live on. It's just that the damage that we are facing on the planet is not climate change. Climate change is simply a naturally occurring event, whereas things such as Fukushima and the Gulf of Mexico and fracking are not. But even though these things are occurring, it's the public awareness of the fact that they are occurring that is the issue. Because what is important is whether the people of the planet seize the opportunity for awareness and change that is being provided to them. Well, it looks like that's about it for me today, folks. We've now come to the end of the time for the day. Thank you very much for continuing to visit the Crow House. Thank you very much for any help you can give me with the website. It's very much in need at the moment. Times have been very tight in the last few months. And I very much thank anybody who has shown any support for the website thus far. For those of you living in Australia, Ben Stewart will be visiting the country again soon, the maker of Esoteric Agenda and Kymatica. He will be doing talks in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane and Byron Bay. These events will be taking place, I believe, between the 27th of May and the 5th of June. Ben will be discussing his new films and the Hanged Man project. I'll bring you some more information about that next week, or you can visit the tour website, which is www.hangedmantour.com.au for more details. But that is it for me for the day. Thank you very much for spending this time with me today and for listening to the show. I look forward to speaking to you again next week. Take care until then. In Lakesh.